Hey again, everybody. This is George Herrera with the Queens Home Team at Keller Williams Realty. Here today to talk about DTI and how it applies to co-ops. So you might hear this term, especially if you're in the market to buy a co-op. Then you might hear listing agents or sellers or buyer agents that tell you or ask you about your DTI and then how it applies to different co-op developments. So DTI, what does that mean? DTI means debt to income. Okay, DTI, debt to income. And what it is a ratio. So the banks use this when they do pre-approvals also, but when it comes to co-ops, they become even more important and even more crucial because different co-op developments have different debt to income ratio requirements. Most co-ops do look at debt to income ratios, and so you want to get an idea of what your debt to income ratio looks like. So your DTI, the way that it applies to co-ops is that what co-ops do as part of their application, and usually the management company will have some type of pre-screening where they'll look at a potential buyers once you go forward or even before you sell. If a buyer is interested, usually we reach out to the management companies and we say, can you tell us what the income requirements are or what the debt to income requirements are for this particular development? And many times they will have a set requirement. Sometimes they don't have a set requirement. And even in those cases, we still follow a rule of thumb. So rule of thumb in Queens, you would want to keep your debt to income ratio below, let's say 34%, 34 or 32%. As long as it's below that, you should be okay in finding a co-op that you can get approved in or go forward in. If your debt to income ratio is higher than, let's say, 34%, then you may have a harder time because there may be there can be a lot of buildings and developments that require a debt to income ratio below that amount. Now, for the debt to income ratio, how does it work? Pretty much it really just takes into account your gross monthly income. So if you're an individual, they're looking at how much money do you make on a monthly basis, the gross amount. If you're a couple or combined income, they're looking at the total gross monthly income, and then they're comparing that to the total monthly debts. And these debts can include things like revolving debts such as credit card payments. You'd be looking at any student loan payments, any car loans, any other loan payments that you're making, current mortgage payments, things like that. So they're comparing your monthly debts to your monthly income. And that's how they come up with the ratio. And the rule of thumb is to try to stay below 34%. Some buildings even have a 28% DTI requirement and things like that. That's why it's so important to know that before you even start going out to look at co-ops, because if you don't know your debt to income ratio before you start looking at apartments, you could easily be going in to look at apartments where you don't even qualify, and you'll just be wasting your time. So it's good to understand that. We actually have a spreadsheet on our team that we use in order to calculate debt to income ratios. So if you have any questions or regarding DTI, or if you're curious what your DTI is, feel free to reach out to us anytime. We can email you the spreadsheet. You can plug in your numbers, or we can just do it over the phone with you. We can roughly give you an idea over the phone. Okay, so I hope that explains DTI, the debt to income ratio, and how it applies to co-ops. It's very important. It's a crucial step, and you'll hear it a lot. So make sure you understand how it works, and make sure you know your DTI before you start looking at apartments. Okay, thanks for tuning in today. Make sure you hit the little Queens Home Team button here so you can subscribe to our channel and get notifications for new videos. If you ever have any questions or need any help, just reach us through our website, queenshometeam.com/help, and we'd be happy to assist you in any way possible. Okay, thanks for tuning in today. Take care and have a great day.